Welcome to my little country kitchen.
We are making zucchini bread.
1.5 cups of sugar. Half a cup of oil. I'm doing a double batch. Two eggs. Recipe didn't call for it, but I added a teaspoon of vanilla as well. Why not? Makes it more delicious, right? I recommend mixing this by hand because you do not want to overmix this. It will get dense and too hard as opposed to stay fluffy. That's the tip of the day. Next, you add a cup of zucchini. You can also convert this into banana bread as well. I'm actually converting it the opposite way, and it works best. I've actually done both, combined on both banana and zucchini, which is really yummy and awesome, just so you know. Next thing that is a must in my recipes anyway is freshly grated nutmeg. And yes, it does make a difference when you grind your own nutmeg as opposed to buying it already ground. It tastes so much better, and it gives it that pop of, wow, what is that? That people think that you're extra special baker when you do it this way. Highly recommend getting some nutmeg. There are some really good deals out there if you go to the Hispanic aisle, and sometimes you can find them on bulk for a decent price as well. I usually don't pay more than $5 for a bag of whole nutmeg. I love making zucchini bread or banana bread and adding in at least a teaspoon of cinnamon. I measure by heart on this one because it's really yummy. And for the holidays, you can even add pumpkin pie spice to zhuzh it up a bit and make it yummy. The next is 1 cup and 3/4 cup of all-purpose flour. And then 1 teaspoon of baking soda. 1 teaspoon of salt. And you didn't see me add this to the wet ingredients, but I add 1/3 cup of buttermilk, but I make my own buttermilk because I have done it with home store-bought buttermilk and then homemade. So I just get 1/3 cup of, just a little less than that, of milk in a liquid measuring cup, and then I add at least a teaspoon or 2 of vinegar, and that makes your own buttermilk, and it tastes way much better. The vinegar makes this cake light and fluffy, and the interaction is absolutely superb. That's probably the #1 secret ingredient, is the homemade buttermilk. I did reserve about 1/4 cup or more of flour so I can add in my nuts and chocolate chips so they don't sink to the bottom. You can just put them in a bowl and coat them with this flour so they don't sink. It helps them stay floating in the actual batter. That is another tip and trick. So you don't have all of your nuts and chocolate sink to the bottom of your zucchini bread. That's a tip and trick that I learned from Food Network, so I highly recommend using it because you don't want a layer of gooey stuff on the bottom, and you want it in every bite, right? I was just too lazy to put it in a bowl because I didn't want another bowl to dirty, so I just did it in this main bowl. And it is optional, but you can add a half a cup of any nuts that you want. I like pecans and walnuts, or even slivered almonds are really good in this too. You know, whatever you have or whatever your family's not allergic to. Now I have these giant loaf pans that is usually used for making sandwich bread, so they're really long. They're probably 1.5 the size of a regular loaf pan, and so which is why I tripled this recipe from the looks of it. But anyway, I went ahead and divided the batter into both, and I lined it with parchment paper so they can easily be taken out of the pan, and less cleaning for me later as well. This parchment paper definitely is a lifesaver. Highly recommend it.
£5, 6 ounces. Yeah, 4, 6. For 13, 4.50. Okay, close enough. Bake at 325 for 1 hour. Cool for 10 minutes. Okay. We'll be back. Okay. It's been about an hour and 10 minutes, an hour and 15 minutes about. Because these were big loaves. Ooh, look how beautiful. I already poked it to make sure. And they are done. Okay, now we just need to let them cool. Then we can taste.
This is where I got the recipe, was from allrecipes.com. It's the best ever banana bread, but like I said, you can substitute banana for zucchini or do both, which I said is really yummy as well. All right, well, happy baking, and thank you for joining me, and take a look at this video in the corner you might like as well. See you next time.